So yeah, good morning, guys. I hope you all have practiced till now, and I just want to cover two, small topics to get started with. Yes, I know I want to start with the framework today, but then I realized I haven't covered some topics. So before that, starting with our automation framework development uh, for our mobile app, we'll touch base on certain topics that might be relevant to you as well. Good. So one among them is, so if you notice, these decided capabilities you are already aware of, and you know what and all it does. But I have added four new capabilities that might be new for you, but I just want to highlight what they do. Okay. Let's try to come on this particular piece of code, and then I also have my physical device connected to the machine, and I have my Appium server up and running. If I try to run the test now, okay, we'll observe the logs, what's happening behind the scene, right? So basically, it will try to initialize your device. It will check whether your device is in a ready state so that it can send commands to it. Then it will also check whether the UI automator server is ready. Okay. And it's already installed, something like that. No, it does a lot of stuff. So if you notice, the time it took for this whole process is 18 seconds. Okay. If you carefully look at the logs, okay, it will do a lot of things. Okay. So basically, it will try to find whether your UI automator server is ready. It will try to check whether it is already installed, all those stuff it will try to do, whether your device is in a ready state to receive the stuff. See, server packages are not going to be reinstalled because it has checked whether your UI automator server is already there. It is already installed, so it is not going to be reinstalled. So these are all checks it is doing before sending commands into your device. So this basically takes a little bit of time, and it previously in older versions of Appium, it will take around 60 seconds. Okay, it will take around 1 minute to do all these checks, but they have now optimized the whole process, and it is doing now in 18 or 15 seconds. So basically the Appium has improved, right? But still, if you are giving some kind of demo to your client, you don't want them to see a blank screen. Okay. So in those cases, what you can do, that your device is already ready. Okay. You know that your device has already the UI automated server installed, so you can skip those things. Okay. You can tell Appium, hey, you don't want to do these checks. Okay, I am sure that it is already there, and then you can pass through as the capability value, so that it won't try to do those checks. Okay, it will skip those checks. That is these two capabilities will do. And if you have some device, if you're running it on some your personal device, and you forget to you know uh, tell the to unlock it or something like that, then in those cases you can use unlock type as pin. Suppose if you are using pin, you can directly give the pin value here. Again, if you are using some kind of patterns, you can also derive the pin from the patterns. Okay, I will also cover that. So if you notice, uh, this is the document that I have attached in the slides. This is their official documents, right? So you can go here, and if you notice, so let's say you have a pattern like this. Okay, so assume this is your device, and then you have a pattern like this, and I want to derive the pin for this. Okay, then just go, and then if you notice 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so your pin will be 7 2 9 8 5 4 1 6 3. So you can give your unlock type as pattern, and the same pattern you can convert it to a form of pin, and then you can give it here. So the capability key will be unlock key, and the value will be your pattern value converted to a pin value. Okay, so as simple as that. You can try all these things, but these are all but most probably we will be running our test on emulator, or devices on cloud, so it might not be relevant. But if in case you need it, you can use all those things, right? And let's try to run the test and then see whether these two capabilities are saving some part of time for us. Okay, because for now it is taking 18 seconds to run this particular test. we have added 2 new capabilities. Sorry, actually 4. Let's see. Again, this will unlock as well, right? So if your device is currently locked, it will also do the unlocking for you. But we are now focusing on the first 2 capabilities. It's actually launched the app in my device, and then the test got passed. If you notice, it took 11 seconds. Yeah, so it's not a big deal, but in the previous versions of Appium, it was around 60 seconds, getting reduced to 30 seconds. This might be really handy if you are giving some demo to your client, and then your client cannot wait for 60 seconds, right? So he might think it is really slow. So in those cases, you can use this is just a quick little knowledge. Again, please try out this unlocking and other features. You can also go and explore what and all the other capabilities they also have. Good. So we have almost covered all the topics on this, and now let's get back to some interesting topic called as AssertJ, right? Since many people use JUnit or their test engine for assertions, we're gonna use AssertJ. I personally prefer AssertJ because it's a fluent assertion library. We can do a lot of assertions by writing less lines of code, and it also has a lot of methods that our normal assertion library don't have. Okay, so it has a lot of good features. Most people are using this. Sorry, anyone is asking any doubts? Okay, so we'll see. So let's take an use case, and then I hope everyone knows about it, right? AssertJ. Does anyone don't know anything about it? Please tell me now so that I can go a little fast. I can tell how to add this dependency and all.
No, Amutan, I don't know about AssertJ.
Okay, you don't know about AssertJ. Good. So nothing. So AssertJ, imagine it like your TestNG assertion library. Okay, TestNG is a framework that comes. It has some a lot of features. One among them is doing a lot of assertions, right? But TestNG assertions are basically lagging. In different areas. Let's say, for example, you want to do the assertion of you have a string like this. You want to assert all these things. Okay, I want to validate whether the size is almost 11, whether it is containing hello. How will you do that assertion? Okay, let's try to do it. Okay, so let's say I am taking assert dot and assert true. So basically, I want to check the size is 10. Okay, so I am telling temp dot size. Okay, temp dot length is equal to 11, something like this, right? So basically you have to, there is no other way, you have to write like this, right? Or you can use assert dot assert equals and then temp dot length comma 11, so something like that, right? So again, I need to assert whether it is containing hello. How will I do this? Again, you need to use assert dot assert true, and then here again you need to tell whether it is containing hello. What I can do, temp dot contains hello. Okay, I have done 2 assertion. Now I want to do the third one. So basically temp dot contain samudan, and then you can add a not operator in between, right? So you can write like this. So basically you can do all these assertion, and it takes a lot of efforts, right? So you need to basically write 6 to 7 lines of code, and then you are asserting a lot of things. So instead of that, this assertion fluent assertion library, it's an external library. It can help us to write a lot of assertions in a much better way, right? Let's remove this and then try to write in AssertJ way. So for that, you can open your form.xml and you can add your AssertJ library. So this is coming from org.assertj group ID, and artifact ID is AssertJ core. So the version is, I have picked this 3.19, should be the latest one, and I have restricted the scope to be test, so it can be only applicable in the test packages, right? This is a pretty good way to restrict people from doing the assertion in their page layers, right? So very simple thing. You cannot advise people, okay, don't do the assertion in page layers. You can directly add the scope and then restrict them to be applicable only in the test layers. Good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same assertion with the help of AssertJ. Okay, it has a class called assertions. Okay, so if you notice, this is coming from your org.assertj.core.api. Okay, I looking into this, and then it has some method called assert that. So this assert that is an overloaded method. It accepts a lot of parameters. Okay, whatever the parameter you pass, it takes it. Okay, so they have done all the research, all the hard work themselves, and then only thing that you have to worry is just pass assert that, and then pass the whatever the value you want to assert. Okay, now this is asking, okay, cannot import class, I want to import the class. Okay, that's fine. Now I want to do the assertion. Okay, first check what I want to do. I want to check whether the size, okay, has size. Okay, if you notice, has size int expected. Okay, you pass the integer, I will assert whether the size is correct. Okay, has size 11. Okay, what else I want to do? Maybe I want to also check contains hello. Okay, contains. Okay, okay, contains hello. Now I want to do does not contains amudan, right? So does not contains is not available in testing, but here we have that does not contains amudan. You don't have to use not operator and other stuff. Okay, and now I want to check whether it is not empty. Is not empty. Okay, or what else we want to do? Is not blank. Okay, I also want to check is not null. Okay, you can also do that. What else we can do? All these things. Okay, I want to check whether it is containing a white space. Okay, so contains only white spaces. No, contains white spaces. Okay, that is enough. So basically you have a lot of options, right? Contains, so contains only digits, contains ignoring case. Okay, contains a pattern. If you want to check regular expression, you can also do that. So a lot of options here. So you can basically just use a control and space and check what and all option available. Okay, you can also validate whether the size is between this particular range, as size between. So you can tell the lower boundary and the upper boundary. So size is between 6 comma 20. I want to do that. Okay, what else we want? Everything. So basically you can go over this. It's very easy. Okay, and then it'll assert it for you. So let's try to run the test and see what's happening. Okay, so it is getting passed because everything is getting passed. So let's try to fail it and then see what's happening. How's the error message is looking? So it's now failing. That's okay, but it's telling clearly expecting hello world to contain hello one, but it is not containing hello one. Okay, so basically the error message is very clear. Again, you can add your description, custom description if you want. Let's say I want to add a custom description, a checking whether the string contains hello. You can also do that. Okay, this will be the description. Now let's say what's happening. So if you notice, it is just telling java.lang assertion error, but now it will also append the description whatever I have appended here. Okay, see, we can use as method. Okay, so if you notice description, so that some end user can easily understand what you are actually doing. Okay, so you can also explore all these things. Okay, suppose I want to also add as for this, you have to add it in front. Okay, as okay, you have to add the as in front. Okay, you can also use dot description as well. So has description, something like that, or as description. Yeah, described as. Okay, you can use the description here. Okay, and then description text also you can use. So basically suppose I want to override the failure message. So the failure message is coming like this, you want to override this, and then they also have an option for that. uh, Override failure message, something like this, or with fail message. So this with fail message can also take in the supplier argument or the string error message. So I prefer the supplier because it is lazily evaluated. And checking, for now I'm just adding check. Okay, and then let's try to minimize this. So now if you notice, the error message is now overridden by just check. Okay, so whenever you are using this with fail message or override fail message, your fail message previously where it showed it has to contain hello one something like that, it's now overridden by my check. Okay, so please whenever you are using this, please be careful that you have to give proper error message. Okay, otherwise it might not be meaningful in the logs. Okay, so again I hope you all know, this supplier argument will only be evaluated if this particular thing is failing, otherwise this won't be even constructed. So this is called as lazy evaluation. If you haven't watched my Java 8 playlist, please do watch that so that you can understand all these things. So basically you can play around like this and you can explore more. I also have a video on my YouTube channel for AssertJ where I have spoken about it for almost 40 minutes or 30 minutes. So please watch that AssertJ video on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I have took all the examples from there, but for now I have only restricted to string. But you can do the assertions for integer, string, or your custom classes, whatnot, everything. Okay, you can also do soft assertions, all those stuff. Okay, but check out this video. It might save you a lot of time for you and my for me as well. Good. So we also done with the AssertJ. So we're gonna be using the AssertJ in our Appium framework. So we have touch based on that. We'll also touch base on the extent reports. So we're going to need some reporting, right? So we need to send it to clients. We need some reporting. There are a lot of reports, maybe a report portal, your Allure reports, your extent reports, and other stuff. But we are going to use extent reports because it's quite easy to do the setup and other stuff. Okay, so to use the extent reports again, I have added this particular dependency. Guys, it's very simple. You can fetch extent reports Maven dependency in Google, and then it will give you the dependency. Okay, so 5.0.5 group ID is com.avnstack and extent reports, right? So through the setup for this, you can also go and check their website. Okay, so maybe come on, I have this blocking. So from here you can fetch it. Okay, so we notice I'm fetching it from here, and now extend reports website. So notice, yeah, I can go here. You can go to their website and then you can also have a look at that. Okay, so go to the Java. So they also support C#. So yeah, so they have given clear documentation, okay, on how to do the setup. So if you notice, this is a dependency for Gradle. Also, you can, if you are using Gradle, you can also use that. And they also give a sample HTML report HTML. I have opened that. We'll also have a look at it. And what else? They will give some basic usages how we can use that in our code. So this is the basic code they have given. Okay, if you want to get started with extend reports, you can use this basic code, and then it will work for you. So if you want to generate a report as simple as this, just you need to write 5 lines of code. It will do the task for you. Okay. And then if you want to do multiple reporters, all those stuff are here, but basically we're going to do everything from the scratch, so you don't have to worry. I'll be teaching this now. Okay, so a sample report might look like this. Let's go here and Spark samples. So this is a Spark report sample that I'm trying to showcase. If you notice, this is the report, and whatever I am clicking here, these are all the tests. So these are all indicating that they all one particular test case. So in each test case, you can have multiple logs. Okay, this particular test case is having a lot of logs. Okay, and they have a lot of different log levels. Like in Java, we have different log levels, right? So maybe in TestNG, we have log levels like info, pass, warning, skip, fail, everything, right? The same thing they are also having. Okay, TestNG has updated their log levels. They don't use fatal, all those things. They removed certain unused log levels, so there is only 5 log levels. So these guys are also trying to be accordance with the TestNG. So they also removed all those things, and in the latest version we have only 5 log levels. Okay, and if you also want to log some JSON and other stuff, you can also have the capability to do all these things. Okay, Basically they have include a lot of tabs, like you can also check which author has created which particular test, how their particular automated test is working, what is their success rate, all those stuff. Suppose if we are doing in Appium, we'll be doing device compatibility test. We can also check in which device the test is running, how good is performing, all those stuff. Okay, so yeah, so basically we can generate a report like this, and then we'll do it. Okay, so let's get to the IntelliJ or your ID, and let's try to create. Okay, so they have some class called as extend reports. So if you notice, this is a class com.avanstalk.extend reports. So you create an object, this, okay, new extend reports, and now we are going, they extend reports support lot of reporters, but we are going to be interested in the Spark reporter. So Spark reporter is basically your HTML reporter. Okay, the Spark reporter is basically your HTML reporter. Okay, we are interested in only this. Good. To do this, again, new uh, uh, Spark, extend Spark reporter, and here you need to mention the path where you want to generate the report. So you can directly give index.html if you want to generate it in the root folder, but it's always a good convention to mention the full path. Okay, system.get property, and here you can mention user.dir, which basically fetches you the current project location. Okay, because some people are, is connected to their Git repository, and then they are telling, okay, my index.html file is not getting generated. Okay, so it's always good practice to use user.dir, and then I'm telling create a index.html file. So index.html, you can give any name, right? Report.html, but the good convention is index.html, because if you even take a look at the TestNG reports and all, they will use index as the name for your HTML reports. So basically I can introduce a new local variable here, and then maybe I can name it as Spark. Okay, okay, good. So now what I want to do, so you just want to attach reporter of the Spark. That's it. So for this extend reports, I am going to attach the Spark report. If you are creating multiple reports, yes, you can also add them, but in our case we are going to add only one report. Okay, so apart from this, now we have, this is your setup. Okay, now we can go ahead and start creating the test notes. Okay, so for that, what you can do, there is something called as extend.create test. So this create test will create a node in the HTML for your test case. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do, my first test case, something like this. Okay, and I'll be introduce a new local variable, maybe just test. That's more than enough. Okay, and here you can log your events. Okay, in this particular test case, let's say I'm telling, okay, device connected. Okay, and then what you can do also, you can add more statements. Okay, and it's not just pass, you can also use info. You can also use skip, but if I use skip, it will be marked as a skip. So maybe I'll restrict myself to pass an info. You can also mark it as a fail. Okay, device connected, let's say app loaded, uh, and what else I want to tell, uh, uh, then views is clicked, something. Okay, what are the logs that you want to write, you can write like this. Okay, now this is the first test case. We are now okay with just one test case. At the end, what you want to do, extend dot flush. Okay, once you call this flush method, it will create all the report and then generate the index.html. Okay, so unless you call it, it will not be generated. So this 3 lines of code is your setup, this 1 line of code is your tear down, and this is your actual test node. Okay, so let's try to run this and then see what's happening. Okay, so it got passed. If you notice, it has also generated the index.html for me. So maybe I'll open it in Chrome. So if you notice, my first test case, so this is the name that we have given there, right? So close this. So my first test case is the name that I gave. Okay, that's fine. A device connected, app loaded, views is clicked, everything is done. And also if you notice, pass info. And you can also see the dashboard, how many pass steps are there, how many info steps are there. There is total of only one test case. Now let's try to add one more test case. Okay, let's copy this piece of code, because this is the code that is helping us to create the test node. Okay, so let's add one more. So I cannot use the same name, so I'll use a different one. Okay, device connected to, let me add just 2 for now, okay, for time being. And let's try to run it again. This time it should have 2 test cases with logs. Okay, I have to just go here and then just reload. And if you notice, yeah, we have now 2 test cases. Good. So I also can see in their version they are having something like this, some device, author, tabs, all those stuff. Okay, how can I do that? Okay, we don't have that so far, so let's try to do this. So if you notice, this particular test case is developed by Amudan. So what I want to tell, dot assign author. Okay, so this was created by Amudan. Okay, and then this was running on maybe the S3 device. Okay, and also this is part of smoke test. Okay, smoke test. So I want to give all these things. Okay, the second test case is actually developed by let's say Adi. Okay, and then there is one more guy who also worked on that, so I can also assign multiple authors to the same test case. Okay, so basically I can assign such it. And I also can assign some device. Okay, it's ran on emulator. Okay, all those stuff, all those details you can add it here, so that it's more relevant. What else? Category, it belongs to both smoke test as well as regression. Okay, you can also like this. I don't think it will work, but otherwise you can add like this. Okay, so now let's try to run the test and see whether those tabs are coming. So this is not mandatory, so if you want you can use it, otherwise you can ignore it. Okay, let's go here and then reload it. Now if you notice, new tabs are now displayed. So there are 2 test cases for the smoke category. There is only 1 test case for the regression category. Again, you can have the option to navigate there. Okay, from here. Okay, so this basically list you all the test cases that ran on emulator. So my first test case, and then if you notice, we have named both of them as my first test case. So maybe you can name it like this. Okay, so for now, okay, that's okay. So if you notice, there are 3 authors, all of them created 1 test. So since the name I have given as my first test case, so it is quite confusing, but yeah. Okay, so this is how you can generate a report. You can use shortcut L, so that you can change the theme of this particular report. So L in your keyboard will change the theme. Again, you can also set the default theme. Maybe that will be something like spark.config. Okay, if you want to set up some configurations. Okay, by default you want that to be open on a different theme, then you can try all these things. Spark.config, and here set theme will be there. Set CSS, set theme. Okay, and this accepts enum from theme. So I want the dark theme by default. So you can also do that. And also, if you notice, there is no heading. So if you notice the title, the tab here, it's telling localhost 63342 Appium practice, all those stuff. But I want some reasonable name there. Okay, so what I can also do, spark.config.set report name. Okay, report name is let's say automation reports. So you can do that. What else config you want to set, you can also try out here. Okay, set report name. What else? Set document title. Okay, checking all those things. Okay, finally you can run the test. Okay, and yeah, now you can able to see this document title is coming here, and then your automation report is coming here. Okay, so And also if you notice, this is first test case, this is second test case, all those stuff. Yeah, good. So the default theme is also dark now. Okay, if you want to change, you can also press L. Okay, good. So this is what I want to cover with extent reports. Again guys, I have a detailed playlist on my YouTube channel for extent reports. Please do go through it so that you can understand a lot about it. So, but for now it's more than enough for us. Okay, in this case, let's also try to do something with we haven't seen how we can attach take screenshot. Maybe I can cover that now. Let's say this is a simple test cases that we have worked before, right? We just launch it and then it will click on views. After that, maybe we can take a screenshot. Okay, for that, let me copy this. Okay, for now I will hard code, guys, don't worry. We will have a better way of doing all these things. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, here maybe at the rate before suite is the best place, but yeah, this is just to tell you guys how we can take screenshot. Okay, nothing more than that. And I also can create something for test suite. Okay, and here I can copy the last piece of code that I have written. Okay, now this is not recognizable, so I have to actually move it here. Okay, this is enough. Okay, now in the test case, I just need to add extend that create test. Maybe I'll use a method reflection, or I can hard code it now. I'm creating a new thing. So I'll add a log extend dot log or pass. Sorry, I'll introduce a new local variable. For now it looks clumsy, but okay guys, that's okay. Okay, we'll optimize this when we develop the framework. Test dot pass app is launched. Okay, and here I want to also tell views is clicked, and I also want to take the screenshot. There's dot. So if you notice, there is something called as media, right? You can use that. So media entity builder. So media is a class. To use that, they are using a builder pattern. So media entity builder. Okay, dot. And if you notice, they are telling create screen capture from base64 string, or the you tell me the path of the file so that I can append to the report. So this is old approach. You don't need to create a file, PNG file. It will occupy a lot of space and other stuff. We don't have to do that. We'll capture it as a base64 string and we'll feed it here. Okay, so let's screen capture from the base64 string, but I want a screenshot of a base64. So let's do that. So for that, it's same as your Screllium. Okay, use take screenshot. Okay, you can cast it like this. Okay, and dot get screenshot as output type dot base64. That's it. Okay, this will introduce a new local variable. This is your screenshot. Maybe I'll name it as screenshot, and here I just pass the screenshot. That's it. Whatever the base64 string that I got, I just passed it. Now every builder pattern will always end with build method. Once you call the build method, it'll create the media class object. So at the end, you just need to tell like this. Okay, that's it. I think we have initialized the report. Okay, once this is done, this is also done. Okay, let's try to run the test and then see what's happening. Okay. So my device is locked. Let's see whether it is unlocking. Okay. Actually, it is typing. You guys cannot see due to security reasons. I think the mirroring app is not showing that. But yeah, but the whole stuff is getting passed. Please try this unlocking, guys. So okay. Um, let's try to go there and reload the whole stuff. If you notice, app is launched, views is clicked, and the base 64 image. Okay, this is a screenshot that it took after clicking on the views. So basically, the code to take a screenshot is very simple. So it's just one line of code, right? Again, I have created as a temporary string, and then I am passing it. You can directly pass it there. It's up to you. So it's basically very easy process. So we're gonna, whatever we have learned so far, we're gonna use that in the framework, and then we're gonna build a robust framework at the end. Yes, I'll just pass on a bit. If you have any questions, please ask me now. Is any question so far?
No.
Amutan, here these logs, right? So these logs, we need to pass it within our method, or can we pick it dynamically, either passing like this?
No, we will not be doing like this. So Adi, you
Mhm.
haven't watched any of my videos in YouTube?
No, Amutan, I'm yet to
Okay.
watch. Okay.
Okay, so we will do that. We will not be writing a clumsy code like this. Okay, this is basically for your understanding how we can quickly do this. But yeah, we can slowly improvise from here, and then we'll write a very good code. Okay, everything will be happening automatically. You don't have to do all these things. Okay, don't worry, your code will be clean. So but what I recommend, please do watch that. You already know Selenium, but I have tried to cover a lot of topics in my playlist, Selenium framework playlist. So if you go through it, I think you'll get a good understanding of what and all stuff I am speaking here. Okay, so please
Sure, Amutan.
go through that. At least go through the topics. I don't want you to go through the videos. Go through the topics. If you think that topic is interesting, then watch it. Otherwise, don't watch it. Okay, so you won't have to waste your time as well. So please go through that. Okay, so any other doubts from anyone? Otherwise, just give me a minute. I just drink some water. Yeah, so I think we are done with this. So let's create a new project where we can somebody's messaging me. Okay, this is an excellent playlist. Okay, so you can watch this playlist. Okay, so uh, let's create a new project. Okay, we're going to build a framework from the scratch now. So okay, so click on next. So maybe mobile automation framework. So let me create it in the new window so that I can copy paste some dependencies from there. Okay, so I hope everyone is aware of their the structure here, the skeleton here, why what we're gonna use for what. Everyone knows this. Okay, so maybe before that, let me copy some of the dependencies from this project. Okay, anyways, we will be needing them. So let's copy this whole stuff, and then paste it in this. So again, I will give a quick recap. So Appium client is what helping us to set up the client in our Appium server architecture. The Appium client server architecture. So it has all the libraries, the classes, in order to perform uh, the actions that we want to do in the mobile. And then we also using external reports We also using TestNG for writing our test and other stuff. We're also using AssertJ for just performing assertions. Why we are using TestNG? Because we want to do a lot of things with data provider. The TestNG has not just assertions, it also has data provider. It also has a lot of other cool features, right? So we are going to leverage all that. It has some cool listeners. We're going to use a lot of them. So we'll see that. But for now, I have added just a few of these. Okay. Again, guys, one important thing to notice: this Java client comes bundled with your Selenium. Okay, Selenium jar files as well. So in the previous versions, older versions, you have to explicitly download the Selenium things. Okay, but if you go now, you can also see Selenium jars here. Okay, org.selenium HQ. These and all is a transitive dependency for this particular dependency. Or we call it as a transitive dependency. Okay, if your intention to download the Appium, but the Appium internally needs the Selenium, so we call it as a transitive dependency in so that if you are not technically aware of what that is called. Okay, good. So now we have created a very simple folder structure skeleton here. If you notice, SRC main and SRC test is a important things. Previously, Java developers, okay, were using this SRC main folder is where they write all their code. Okay, resources is the place where they keep their YAML files, configuration files, or if you are using Docker file, all those stuff they keep in the resources folder. All the class files, coding, everything will be in the SRC main Java. So they keep all these things in the SRC test. They write their unit tests, and for the unit test, if they need any folders for maintaining their resources, okay, then they will use it here. So all their unit test will be here, all their codes, application code will be here. So when they are shipping the product to production, they will only ship the SRC main folder, not the SRC test folder. Okay, so this is how they've been using it. But when we automation engineers started to use Maven, this is a common skeleton folder structure that we also use. But yeah, you can also deviate from this and then use your own skeleton structure, but I don't find any reason to do that, so we'll use the same one. In the SRC test Java, we're gonna keep all our test cases. Okay, so you just keep in mind only the test cases should be there. You should not use a read property file. That should not be in the SRC test package. Okay, if you're doing like that, that is something wrong. That don't do that. Only the test cases belong here. Okay, all other things should be in the SRC main Java. Okay, and in the SRC main Java, you can keep all the stuff. But one ideal rule is all your test cases needs to be here. Okay, now I want to create a new package here. Okay, or a new class file. Let's for that I'm creating a package. Let's say you can create your package like anything, but a good convention is to use something like io dot or org dot your company name. Okay, maybe my company name is testing many bytes, and what else you can give. Suppose this is test cases, right? So maybe I can give tests or basically test cases, and then I can tell let's say tap. I'm going to do a tap on views. That's my first test case. Okay, let me name it as tap test. Okay, you can also create like this. Maybe org is something that I feel little uncomfortable, so I use com. Okay, it's your wish. Okay, but where you get all this knowledge, go to the external libraries and then they can understand it. Okay, if you go to the external libraries, see how these guys have coded their packages. Okay, let's take an example from Selenium, so it'll be easy for us to understand. Selenium HQ. Okay, so if you notice org.openqa.selenium.support, this is the package name. So the package name is very clear. So org openqa is their community, and then Selenium is their product name. Support. Okay, this package actually deals or contains classes related to supporting. Okay, something like this. So you can understand from the name itself, we can understand what it does. Okay, so basically everyone uses like this. So for the TestNG, let's take an example of TestNG. So com.bs.testng is their artifact, right? So in that they have TestNG class. So they also have org.testng. Look at the package names. They are all following certain conventions, right? So inside that they have annotations, asserts. Okay, asserts is a package that might be having all the assertion related codes. Okay, yes, it is. So you need to package all your classes in a meaningful way. That's why even in our case, we have packaged all our, we are going to package, we're going to write a lot of test cases inside this package, right? So the meaning name is more meaningful. Okay, good. So let's use the rate test. Okay, and let's public void tab test. Okay, something like this. Good. So in the tab test, we're gonna write a lot of code. Maybe we have already know how to write these codes. So let me go on here and copy paste. Parallel testing. Okay, I'll copy paste this piece of code, or I'll just copy paste this. Okay, I don't interested in this stuff now, so let's remove this. Let's also remove this. So let's throw the exception for now. Okay, so this is how we normally create our test, right? So if I want to create one more test, okay, then what I have to do, I have to create one more class. I have to do all the stuff again. I need to do all these things. Okay, so basically I'm writing a lot of code again and again, right? We'll try to optimize this piece of code, how effectively we can write this piece of code. So but for all those things we have some rules. Okay, at least while I design my framework, I'll keep this in mind, so this will be very helpful for you. Okay, so never hard code, first thing. Okay, if you hard coding, you are doing something wrong. Okay, uh, try to reuse the code, but inheritance is the last solution. Okay, and what else we can think about is make it, suppose consider yourself as a test architect, and you are creating this framework so that other you know uh, you know junior level automation engineers or manual testers wants to work on this framework, they should have the capability to do that. So make it easy for others to follow or write new tests. Okay, so that's our, at the end of the day we also strive to write clean code. Okay, so this is going to be our 4 rules that we're gonna use. And if you all also do all these things, we need to basically keep right things at right places. Okay, so these are the basic set of rules we're going to follow in order to develop our framework. But I'll start with the framework development from tomorrow. So this is basically the skeleton. So we have created the skeleton. You can also try to create this till here, and then we'll continue tomorrow about how we can apply these 5 set of rules, and then slowly evaluate this into a big framework. Okay. Okay, I'll stop now. You guys have any questions, you can ask me now.
Amutan, one more thing, like each class should have its own, only its responsibility, right? Suppose if we are having some class where we are performing actions, only the responsibility of the actions or the methods should be there, correct? Or single class or single responsibility?
Yeah, that is okay. It's like see, that is different. So in a tap test, okay, single responsibility doesn't mean it has to have only one method, but it needs to have just one responsibility. So in tap test you can have multiple uh, test cases related to tap test. That's okay. Okay, because we are grouping all the test cases related to tapping of some events in your mobile, so that can be possible, right? Also you can also have only one test case per class. That is also possible. That is your wish, but basically you can group all the tapping related test cases in this particular class. That is more relevant. Okay, single responsibility principle doesn't mandatorily telling you that you need to have only one method in your class. Okay, it can have multiple methods, but the responsibility should be same. Okay, Yes. So it should not do multiple things. Say some people read the property files in that particular class. That is deviating from the design principles. Again,
Mhm.
there are different ways to approach a problem. Okay, either you follow design principles, you arrive at a good clean code, or
Mhm.
you follow these 5 rules that I'm saying. You will end up, in creating test cases abiding all those 5 solid principles. Okay, so you follow this, very simple to understand. Um, if you follow this, you will end up there. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, anything from anyone else? If not, I'll just stop the recording and then I will speak with Shu.